Yes, my people, good afternoon to you if you're in my time zone. Good evening to you if you're in the African and the European time zone. And also, there's some places here in the United States where it's good evening. So, just one little announcement to make that I will be having a discussion with Adamu. It's a scheduled discussion with Adamu Bukhari. So there will be a discussion with Adamu Bukhari, and the discussion is on. You want to discuss if Jesus' blood can save. I guess can Jesus' blood save? So I'll just show you what he promised to discuss, that we will discuss, but he doesn't stick to the topic, so expect anything. I'm expecting anything. I'm prepared for him, anything. So, because he's not a guy who can stick to one topic. I have a feeling he's gonna be jumping all over the place. But just to show you what the plan is, what we plan to discuss. Um, so just to show you what the plan is. So here is what he wanted to discuss. You look right here. Look here, you will see this other guy right here called Lay Ale. I've done two video on him so far. I'm gonna be answering to the stupidity that he have right here, and also I'm gonna look at Jesus the servant. Um, and but see, the guy says uh, time 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. That would be like 8:30 for me. That was too early because I would be maybe still at work or just getting home from work. So and he said it's Sunday, which is tomorrow. Um, Sunday 11th. So that's like no, not tomorrow. The next week. I don't know why it have to be so far. Why it gotta be so far. But anyway, that's okay. So we'll be having this discussion, and next week, uh, um, because he says Sunday 11th. So let me actually look and see if Sunday is actually the 11th and next week. I would have to look to see that. I know last night was the 5th. Um, so it will be 7 days um, away. So it's be 6. Yeah. Sunday probably is the 11th. But I told him I could do it at 4:30 East time, and he agreed. So let's see if he come on and be sensible, because he's a Muslim who believe that women have sperm because Muhammad told him so. So let's see if he can come on and be sensible. But so we have this guy called Lay, and I've shown you this guy in the past, and how what this guy believe. So I'm gonna show you him again, so you guys remember this guy that I've showed you. So here is the guy, Lay. So let's see his photos. Here he is, this guy right here. So this is the guy again. Man, I'm telling you, if Naive ever named this guy, if Naive was a man, this guy would be perfect. Naive. If stupidity was a man, this would be one of stupidity. If the word stupidity could become a man, he would be this man right here. And I will show you as we look at some of the things that he says. I'm just going to look at one of the things that he say, and we show you how naive this guy is. Totally naive. So let's get out of this and we go to where he is. So here we are. So let me make sure that you guys are seeing what I see and is able to read what I see. So this guy, he says, isn't this a punishment for apostasy? He said, isn't this a punishment for an apostasy? So for an apostasy. I think he means to say for an apostate. I don't know. But anyway, if Christian went to defend their Bible, he said want? Yes. If Christian want to defend their Bible, then please explain to us this parable and provide to us it's not talking about throwing apostate into burning fire. So Muhammad say kill apostate, and we have proof that Muhammad say kill apostate. We have proof where the followers of Muhammad kill apostate. We have proof where a man was a Christian and he leave Christianity for Islam, and then when he saw the wickedness in Islam, he turned back to Christianity, and a guy called Makril cut off his neck. So we see, cut off his head. So we see where Muhammad was killing apostate. So what these wolf and a deceptive donkey like this guy do is to go into the Bible every day and they search to find something that they could compare to what the evil that Muhammad did. And what he decided to do is to take a verse out of this context to say that Jesus will kill apostate, that we are supposed to kill apostate. Because what he's saying, if Christians want to defend their Bible, then please explain to us this parable and prove to us it's not talking about throwing apostates into the burning fire. What burning fire? This is how deceptive this donkey is. What burning fire is this parable talking about? So here it is. John 15, 5-6. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withered. So Jesus is likened to the people who don't remain here as a branch that is thrown away and withered. Such branch are picked up, then thrown in the fire and burned. What fire is Jesus talking about? So we just let the Bible speak for itself. It has nothing to do with killing people in this life. In this life, killing people. Nothing at all to do with that. So here we are. What we're going to do, we're going to look at some Bible verses about fire. What fire Jesus is talking about. We see Jesus is nothing like Muhammad of Islam. Muhammad was a donkey. So here we go. So these Bible verses that we have on the screen right now will tell you about what fire Jesus is talking about. The first one, Revelation 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet like Muhammad are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Revelation 21, verse 8. But the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, the warmonger like Muhammad, murderer like Muhammad, warmonger like Muhammad, walking around with semen on his clothes, and the sorcerer, the idolater like Muhammad, bowing to a stone that the pagan used to kissing a stone that the pagan used to circumambulate naked, and the liars like Muhammad, who say a child resemblance has to do with the woman's ejaculation, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So you see, Jesus is telling you, because this is a revelation that God gave to John, to his servant John. So this is the lake of fire that Jesus was talking about. Revelation 20:15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. What lake of fire? That's a judgment fire. Matthew 25, verse 41. Jesus talking now. Then shall he say unto them on the left, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angel. So you see, this have nothing to do with us in this life killing anyone like the idiot Muhammad was going about killing people. Revelation 20, verse 7 to 10. And then the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose from his prison. And if you read more, it continue to talk about people being thrown into the lake of fire. Matthew 25, verse 46. And those who go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into everlasting, righteous into life eternal. So you see, this is talking about the judgment. So the lake of fire is that everlasting punishment that they will get, the wicked will receive. Revelation 20, verse 14. And death and hell will be cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So death and hell will be cast in the lake of fire. So it means death and the grave, Hades, will be cast into. So there will be no more death and no more need for graves. So it's telling you in a poetic way that death and the grave will be cast into the lake of fire. Matthew 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hellfire. So you see, that's the fire that Jesus is talking about. Revelation 20, 11 to 15. And I saw a great throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. Continue to read, and to verse 15, you will see that the lake of fire is on the judgment day. Jesus was not teaching no one to burn no apostate. This is not Islam. I think it was Ali who burned some apostate. Ali burned some apostate. I think it was Ali who burned the apostate. And I think it was Ibn Abbas who said to him, no, he wouldn't burn them that way. I'm paraphrasing. He wouldn't burn them because he's using Allah's punishment to destroy the apostate. He said he would kill them the way that Muhammad said they should be killed. So do you see how stupid this guy is? I'm telling you. I always tell you, man, that this guy is one of the donkey, that believes that he know about he knows about our religion. But you see that this guy is nothing but a donkey. So let's get out of this. Sorry for the phone ringing in the back, but forget I didn't turn my phone down. Okay, anyway, so let's show this guy exactly who this guy Lay is. Nothing but a donkey. guy is nothing but a donkey, a straightforward donkey. When you see that guy, you see nothing but a straightforward donkey. Never talk, never make no sense. Jump into the Bible, take things out of context to tell his lies. So next thing we're going to look at this post from a Muslim, and I think maybe I've done a video on this before, but it is relevant for Christians to see these videos so that they could speak to these Abduls, And Abdul believed that when he said Jesus is a servant, when he can show in the Bible where Jesus is a servant, it affects Jesus as God. It does not. I am a human, and I am often servant of my father when he was alive. That doesn't affect me being human and equal to my father as human. That does not at all. So, but we are going to just go and see what this Abdul say so we could respond to his stupidity. Okay, so the first thing we're going to see here let me make sure that you guys are seeing as much as I am seeing. Okay, so the guy here is Ishmael Jacob. His name is Ishmael Jacob. And he said, Jesus, a servant of God. Yes, Jesus is and was a servant of God. Yes, but does that negate the fact that Jesus is God? No, it does not. So he said, in the Quran, Jesus referred to himself as a servant of God. Jesus is not in your Quran. Jesus is not in your Quran. And Jesus, nothing about Jesus is in your Quran. The Quranic Jesus is not, the Quranic Isa is not Jesus, the historical Isa. The Quranic Jesus is not the historical Isa. The Quranic Jesus is from a madman, the head of a madman. Muhammad told his wife, I heard sounds and I'm hearing things and I'm seeing things. I believe I am mad. So he's from a head of a madman. And Aisha revealed to us that Muhammad was delusional and used to think that he did things that he did not do. So the Quranic Jesus is not Jesus. Isa is not Jesus. If you look at the mother of the Quranic Jesus, she was a dirty, worthless woman. Even though they have a whole chapter dedicated to him, she was a worthless woman. The Quran portrayed her as a worthless woman who, when birth pain, she was faced with birth pain. She said she wished she had died and gone into oblivion before giving birth to Isa, who was promised to her by the so-called God. So you see that what Muhammad was really doing was mocking Jesus and his mother, degrading his mother and then degrading Jesus at the same time, thinking to degrade Jesus and thinking to degrade Jesus's mother. You could see that. If you read in the Quran, you will see where Jesus, Isa's mother is saying that she wished that she had died and gone into oblivion when she was faced with birth pain. That she wished she had died and gone into oblivion before this. So she wished she was not alive to give birth to her son. It's the kind of woman who would do abortion. The kind of evil woman who would do abortion. So let's look and see what this Abdul is saying. Jesus says, indeed, I am the servant of Allah. Jesus is not a servant of your God. A matter of fact, Jesus called your God Satan. The historical Jesus call your God, indirectly call your God Satan. And so let's prove that right here. So the historical Jesus indirectly call Allah Satan. Okay, so let's go to, let me show you from Matthew 16, where the historical Jesus indirectly called Allah Satan. And these are the ways when we can see these things, that we know that Jesus of the Isa of the Quran is not Jesus, the historical Jesus, because this is what the historical Jesus says about Allah. Indirectly says about Allah. So let's see it here. So we see Matthew 16, verse 21 to 23. Verse 21, Jesus is telling his disciple that he must be killed. Verse 22, Peter told Jesus, this will not happen to you. Verse 23, Jesus turned to Peter and said, get behind me, Satan. If Jesus is telling us that only Satan would say that he would not be killed, what do you think that he would call the creature who told Muhammad that he was not killed? Surah 4, verse 157. Satan. And not only that, Muhammad was hinting to us that it is Satan that was speaking to him. Muhammad says sometimes the Quran is revealed like the ringing of a bell. Paraphrasing. Sahih Bukhari 32:15. Abu Hurairah report Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, saying, the bell is the instrument of Satan. So the bell is the instrument of Satan. Sahih Muslim, book 24, Hadith 52:79. Why was Jibril using what sounds like Satan's instrument to talk to Muhammad? Think about it. 500 years before Muhammad, Jesus indirectly told us that Satan is behind Muhammad. Matthew 16, verse 21 to 23, compared to Quran 4, verse 157. So you see, Jesus did not speak. I have nothing to do with the stupid book called the Quran. So let's look at something else that this Abdul said. Let's continue what this Abdul said. Because Christians should have no problem dealing with a Muslim when they say Jesus is the servant of God. Because we know how he become a servant. And we see also in the Bible where a son asks his father to be the father's servant. If the father was willing to let that son be the servant, then the son would have become the servant, even though he is the son. So let's continue to look at this stupidity from this Muslim. Okay, so here we go. So he's saying now, Jesus said. So notice he's saying Jesus said. He keeps saying Jesus said, but Jesus didn't say anything in the Quran. Isa said, indeed, and indeed, Allah is my Lord and your Lord. So worship him. That is straight path. We already show you that Jesus indirectly, the historical Jesus, indirectly called him. He says Satan is the one who told Peter that he would not be killed. And We find it in the Quran, where the creature that Muhammad initially believed that was Satan told Muhammad that Jesus, Isa, was not killed. You know, so you see that it is Satan that is, from the get-go, we see that Satan have something to do with the Quran. The historical Jesus have nothing to do with the Quran. The only thing about the historical Jesus ever said is that false prophet will come, and Muhammad is one of them. Jesus was not but a servant upon whom we bestowed our favor. Says who? Says who? And why is this God, who claimed to be one God, keep talking about our? You ever notice that this one God, this God who is supposed to be one God, keep talking about our and we? How, you know, what's going on with this God? Is there a problem with him? There must be a problem with this God. Must be a problem with this God. So let's continue to see what this guy says. So he said, in the Bible also, in the Bible, Jesus also referred himself as a servant. We have no problem with that. We have no problem, because we know how he became a servant. We know how he became a servant. So we're just going to go to the Bible and let the Bible speak for itself. So first thing, we're going to go to John 1, and let's see what happened in John 1. John 1 to verse 1 to 14, we see a story, you know, that lead us to know why Jesus become a servant. So if we look here, it is saying right here, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was with God, and the Word was with God. So indirectly, that is saying God was with God. He was in the beginning with God. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. So you see, someone was with God, and that someone was God. You go to Genesis 1 verse 26, you hear God say, come, let us make man. Let us make man in our image. Sorry. And we see God created man in his likeness. So let us make man in our image. You know, let us, our image. So we see that God, here is John telling you that God was with God, and Moses is saying in the book of Genesis that God said, let us make man in our image. So you see where things are tying in. But what goes on after that? We're just going to skip up some verses here. We're going to go to verse 10. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. Who? Jesus. How did he come into the world? And how did the world not recognize him? Let's go to John 14. John 1 verse 14. The Word became flesh. So the Word was God. Remember John 1 verse 1. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. So the Word that was God became flesh and made his dwelling among us. So if he became flesh, that's how he became a servant. By becoming flesh, he become a servant like us. And if you go to the book of Matthew 20, Jesus says, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. So when he became man, when God became man, the word was God and the word became flesh. When the word became man, the word is telling you that he came not to be served, but to serve. So that's how he became a servant. So so if we look at it, it's Matthew 20, verse 28. We see where Jesus said it, and it's in Mark 10. I can't remember exactly what the verse is in Mark 10, but we see it. So let's share that verse. So we see clear and plain that the word was with God and the word was God. And then the word became flesh. So let's share that really, really fast. So we see how Jesus became a servant. So here we are. I hope you guys are seeing it like I'm seeing it, but I read it. Okay, Matthew 20, verse 28. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So you see right there, Jesus existed as the Word, and the Word was God, but then he became flesh, human man, and he's telling you, as the Son of Man, because he came through Mary, as the Son of Man, he came to the earth through Mary. He existed as the Word, and that Word was God. And as the Son of Man, he came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So we see how we become a servant. So we don't have a problem saying that Jesus was a servant. Not only that, that's not the only book. We could go to Ephesians 2, verse 5 to 7, and we see also how Jesus became a servant. So let's go to Ephesians 2 real fast, and we'll see. So we see this is Ephesians 2. So Ephesians 2, verse 5 to 7. In your relationship with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to use to his own advantage. Some other translation says, who existed in the form of God. So he existed in the form of God. Did not consider equality with God to be used to his own advantage. So here it is. Jesus existed as God, but he was so humble that he said he did not consider equality with God to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing. He made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. So you see, he make himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. So this is how God became a servant. Jesus says in John 17, verse 5, Father, glorify me with the glory I had with you before the world was created. So we see that Jesus existed as the Son of God before the world was created. The world was created. And John is telling us that the word was with God. So that word was the Son of God. That word was God and Son of God. It wasn't a literal word. He was a person, because the Bible tell you that he existed before all things, and through him all things came into existence. Colossians 1, you could read Colossians 1, verse 15 to verse 17, and you will see that there. So what we are seeing from the Bible is that the Son of God became human and became a servant of God. That's what we are seeing from the Bible. So let us continue to see what this Muslim is saying. I won't even too much be brash with him, because some of them are very ignorant. You know, he's different from Leah. Leah is just a donkey, a straight donkey. The guy called Leah is just a straight donkey. So let's go there and see. You know, Muhammad says, if his God have a son, he would be the first to worship him. If his God have a son. But what the Quran says, how can he have a son when he have no wife? Allah need a wife to have a son. Allah, the Quran, Allah is a nonsense. The Allah of the Quran is just a nonsense made up to become God. So let's see what this Muslim is still saying. So we already established that how Jesus become. We don't even have to go further from here. To be real with you, we don't even have to go further from here. We already established how Jesus is a servant. So what is it? Peter calling Jesus a servant in Acts 3 verse 13 doesn't affect the Christian, because we know how we become a servant. I just show you. Acts 3 verse 26. We have no problem with that. The Muslim said, tell us how God can be a servant of himself. No one is saying that God is a servant of himself. I am human and I can be a servant of human. Jesus is God. His Father is God. He can be a servant of his Father. That's simple stuff. That's simple. Nothing complex about it. I won't even go no further. I'm just gonna finish with the video here, because all this is already clear up. It wasn't even hard to do. It was not even hard to do. So I'm gonna say all praises to the triune God. All praises to the God of Israel, not the God of the Arabs, the pagan God. The God of Israel, who, if we want to be saved, we have to go the Israelite way. And Jesus says salvation is of the Jews. John 4 verse 22. So the God of Israel is the true God, not the God of Muhammad. No. Muhammad ran from the cave. He told his wife. He feared for himself. He said something is wrong with me. Then he took what was wrong with him and what he feared for himself. We find that in Sahih Bukhari, volume 9, Hadith 111. He even tried to kill himself. Same Sahih Bukhari, volume 9, Hadith 111. I was watching a debate between David Wood and this guy called I call him Pikachu because he's so stupid. He's like a cartoon character. His name sounds like Pikachu, so I just call him Pikachu. And what I see is David telling him, this boy, that Muhammad have no right killing no one. When he's pointing fingers at the Old Testament and the killing in the Old Testament, David Wood was showing like, hey, God have a right to kill because he showed himself to be God. He showed his might, he showed his power, that he is God. The Bible even record where the nations fear him, fear the Israelites because of their God. There is Pharaoh, the Pharaoh who was before, there was a Pharaoh who was before the evil one that would not let the children of Israel go. Remember, Abraham lied to the Pharaoh and tell the Pharaoh that Sarah was not his wife, and the Pharaoh wanted to do his nastiness with Abraham's wife, and something happened that the Pharaoh found out that it was Abraham's wife, and you could see that the Pharaoh feared the God of Abraham. He knew the God of Abraham, and he feared the God of Abraham. And I'm telling you that what God does, the miracle that God does to Moses, is to show that he is God, commanding nature. Nature move, because what? Nature is his creation. The ocean, the mountain, the things that he do, he just show he is the God of life and death. What did this idiot Muhammad do to be running around killing people after Jesus said, love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us? Matthew 5 verse 4. What? So you see, we as Christians, we can think about it and justify that God is the God and the judge of the earth, the owner and the judge of the earth. So he have all right to do with mankind whatever pleases him. The book of the Psalms 135 verse 6 says, I'm paraphrasing, the Lord does whatever pleases him in the heaven and the earth and in the waters beneath, and and beneath anywhere in the waters, because he is the owner, and he answer to no one. There's no law that restrict God's judgment, because he answer to no one. But you don't see a prophet of God coming out and say, I am possessed. I believe I am, woe is me, poet are possessed. I thought, woe is me, and run home to his wife and said, I fear for myself. Something is wrong with me. What is wrong with me? Where have you ever seen something like that? Trying to kill himself. Where have you ever seen something like that? What Jesus have to do with a suicidal madman that his wife says was delusional? Huh? How does Jesus tied up with this delusional madman? For this guy to be quoting the Quran, to undo what the Bible says. Jesus, who was a servant in John 5 verse 19 says, paraphrasing, the Son do whatever the Father does. The Son does whatever the Father does. Jesus was not in your Quran. Jesus is not in your Quran, because no Muslim can say, I and Allah are one. No Muslim can say, when you see me, you see Allah. Aisha told us in Sahih al-Bukhari 3175, book 58, hadith 17. Muhammad used to imagine he'd done a thing which in fact he had not done. Muhammad was a mad, delusional man. And they claimed that this was witchcraft. This was not witchcraft. When his wife took him to Warika, Warika told Muhammad that he feared that it is someone other than Gabriel that visited him. Even though these Muslims stick to one thing that Aisha say, not Aisha, Warika says, oh, you are the prophet and it's Gabriel. How did Warika know that Gabriel was the one who visited Muhammad? He said it's the same angel that visited Moses. Where is it written that Gabriel visited Moses? So how did Warika know that? But then we could see that Warika also told him that it may be someone other than Gabriel. Ibn Kathir. Let's show that. So these Abdul could see. Ibn Kathir told us that the same one whose tafsir these Muslims are using. The same one whose tafsir these Muslims are using told us that it is a possibility that it is someone other than Gabriel. And certain devils take you over, you become mad. And Muhammad became a madman to the point where he was trying to kill himself. So let's share that. Okay, so we see it here. This is Warika speaking. I am afraid it may be someone other than Gabriel, for certain devils imitate him, and by so doing can mislead and corrupt some men. This can result in a man becoming confused and even crazy, whereas before he have been of sound mind. See, Muhammad used to imagine that he did things that he did not do. Muhammad told a story where he ride on a mystical donkey and he passed Moses praying in his grave. He passed a dead man praying in his grave. Muhammad was a donkey. Muhammad said he have a fight with Satan and he was going to tie up Satan on the mosque, but he didn't do it because he remembered the story of Solomon. What story of Solomon? Muhammad was a mad donkey, a straight up mad jackass. That's what he was. Muhammad was a mad donkey, a straight up mad jackass. That's what Muhammad was. There's no sense in Islam. Yes, Jesus is a servant. Yes, we know that Jesus is a servant. Yeah, we don't have a problem with Jesus becoming a servant. We do not have a problem with Jesus becoming a servant. No, because we know how he become a servant. We do not have a problem at all with Jesus being a servant, because I, as a man, can be a servant of my Father. Jesus, as God, can be a servant of his Father. So we don't have a problem with Jesus being a servant at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to say peace out, and our praises to the God of creation, the triune God, and thank God for his wisdom and thank God for his mercies. So this guy Adamu want to have a dialogue. I said it's not a debate, because I would not let a guy like that come on my platform and have 10 minutes of a speech or nothing like that. No, you can't give an unstable guy who believes that women have sperm 10 minutes to speak. we're gonna have a dialogue, back and forth dialogue. So I told him, I said, it's no debate. You're gonna come here and we're gonna dialogue. So you see what you say. You said Jesus' blood cannot save anyone. So we'll see. We leave anything about that for the day when he come on to see what he's gonna say. Why Jesus' blood cannot save anyone. We'll see that. We want to see how he's gonna go about proving that Jesus' blood cannot save anyone, and why a small dialogue like that got to be on the 11th. Today is the 6th. So why is it that we got to be? What is he? What does he have over his sleeve that he had to study for it a whole week to talk about something so simple? But anyway, so let's show what these Muslims are and what Allah is and what Muhammad is. We're going to show you. We're going to have a donkey laughing at Allah, Muhammad, and some of these Muslims. Muslims, the regular Muslim who is not out here proving their ignorance, and just going along with the flow is a different to me. But the ones that are deceptive out here, trying to act like they know more than we know, know more than God knows, because what we know is from God. Then they are the ones that, I when I deal with them, I don't deal with them soft, because they are wolves. When you are going into a book and taking things out of its context, you are a wolf, and I have no reason to be soft to you. So let's laugh at these. Let's see a donkey laughing at these Muslims. We can laugh at the donkey laughing at these Muslims. So Christian Prince is actually at this moment talking about the debate. So David Wood versus a Muslim kid. Yeah, his mindset is that of a kid. Yeah, that ain't no kid. When I was as old as that guy, I'm working my butt off. Colin, so he's a kid. So let's let the donkey laugh at these idiots. That is for Allah. That is for Muhammad. So we're gonna say peace out, man. And I love you all, whether you're Muslim or whoever. I love you all, but I'm rough, with deceptive Muslim. The regular Muslim who want to learn, that's a different story. But these deceptive Muslim, oh, Jesus is a servant. Yes, he is a servant. And how did he become a servant? The Bible told us how God became a servant of his Father. The Son of God, who is also God, became a servant of his Father. That's nothing hard for us to prove. And so we're going to say peace out, and let us love each other, and keep God in your mind, keep Jesus in your mind, endeavor to do the will of Jesus Christ, and the will of his Father, which is also the will of his Father. We could be out here and discussing these things, and discussing the Bible and clarifying things, but if our life does not show Jesus Christ, then we are in some trouble. And people might be like, oh, you're not portraying Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ called the wicked Pharisees snakes and he called them fools, you know. Jesus was no sissy. You know, so people are trying to sissify you, you know, as Sam Shamoun would say, you know, when they try to make you soft. When you're dealing with evil, you should be soft. Islam is evil. I'm not soft with Islam. I would never be. You're not gonna be. I'm not gonna be one of those sissy ones that you see, you know. And I pray to Jesus that I would never be sissified, but at the same time, I would never go beyond the boundaries of things. I would call Muhammad an idiot. I would call his God a fake, stupid God, because that's what Muhammad is, an idiot, and his God is a fake, stupid God. But you would never see me go beyond the boundaries. Like, you know, the guy Leah, the one who said is aiming that Jesus was involved in jihad. I will always, because I have proof on my computer, on my phone, of him. It's on my phone, it's also on my computer, of how nasty he is. And he's a dirty-minded person who think very dirty. So when I'm coming at him until he repent, you know, and I'm gonna always call him a stupid donkey, because that's what he is. The nastiness that came from his head regarding Jesus's mother, and then with another breath, he is saying that Jesus is a Muslim. This is how stupid this donkey is. So we say peace out and God bless you all, you know. And even though he's a stupid donkey, I still love him. I'm loving him enough to let him know that he's a stupid donkey.